What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back, welcome back. Another episode of Marlon Speaks Live. Just wanted to tap in with y'all, man, on this tragic event that was all captured live or captured on probably some of young kids' camera phone and went viral about some kids in Chicago that was beating up a pregnant parent that was protecting her kids that was being bullied. So what I want y'all to do is tap in, like, comment, share, subscribe. Welcome back to another episode of Marlon Speaks Live. Let's get it.
Community is outraged after an attack on a mother and her two young children. You can see in this video here where it happened in the South Deering neighborhood. And we are blurring the video because the people involved are all minors. Our Sharday Gray is live outside of the school where this happened. Sharday, we're learning this is not the first time that this specific group of kids attacked someone.
Exactly, Marie. The large group of parents were outside of the school calling for accountability. They say bullying has been a problem at the school, but now it's crossed the line into violence. The mother, who is also the victim, has been at the school all day talking to authorities.
Damn! Crack, damn!
Disturbing video, all caught on camera. Children dragging a mother and her son to the ground. We've blurred the faces of the people involved because they're minors. Police say the 33-year-old mother and her 9-year-old son were walking near 106 and Bensley in the South Deering neighborhood when the group of kids started chasing after the mother and her children, calling them names and taunting them. Both the mother and son were taken to a hospital. Word of the attack spread quickly on social media, causing outrage among many parents.
I couldn't sleep. I was traumatized. I could not sleep. I couldn't believe it.
Shanice Davis lives in the neighborhood and says she recognizes the attackers.
This is not the first time the kids have done this. Just talk around the streets that these kids have pretty much been raising themselves and they have not been held accountable. They have vandalized cars. They have harassed adults and children.
One day after the attack, demonstrators showed up at Orville Bright Elementary School after some posted on social media threatening to harm the children behind the attack. Several police officers showed up blocking the entrance of the school to protect kids inside. Chicago Police District Council member Joseph Williams was also talking with them.
We're going to make sure that this school leadership steps up and that they put a safety plan in place, that they put any plan they need to put in place to make sure that these babies feel secure. Bullying should have a zero tolerance behind it.
We reached out to Chicago Public Schools about this incident and allegations from parents that their children were bullied by the same group of kids. CPS says they're horrified by the attack and they're working closely with the mayor's office, CPD, CHA, and other city departments to provide additional support for the family. Reporting live in South Deering, Sharday Gray, CBS News, Chicago. Marie.
Thank you, Sharday.
Yeah, so as y'all can see, we had a bunch of kids. Imagine you a parent. You trying to protect your kids from being bullied. And all of a sudden the kids start attacking you. Now in my generation, I'm a Generation Xer, late 70s baby. That was unheard of. Not only would a parent presence calm everything down, everything would immediately cease. Kids would start running. Yeah, when we got to be teenagers though, I ain't gonna lie. The hip hop we was listening to, it was so detrimental. The real bad kids would maybe cuss a parent out. I remember being 12 years old, and this was like right around the time when NWA popped off and gangster rap was like the newest thing. I remember the older kids, maybe 3-4 years older than us, out drinking beer and smoking weed and cigarettes. And it was one of them was in the middle of the road. And my dad told told them to get out the street, and one of them was peeing in the middle of the road. So my daddy got out and pushed him out the street. And then all of a sudden, it was about 10 teenagers started trying to jump my daddy. Then me and my brother had to get out and we started fighting them. And that was actually the beginning of my dad's reputation as being, a parent that's not going to sit back and let kids just do what they want to do. Years later, these same young men would thank my daddy, would come up to me and my brother and thank us for having a daddy like we did, because they needed that at that time in their life. It got physical. My dad had to go get a gun and everything, and it got physical. Guns, my daddy didn't shoot nobody, luckily. But yeah, these guys, they had to go to court. They ended up some of them end up, catching their first case. That was their first case. So I was actually involved in something very similar to this. And I just really thought about that. That memory just came back to me. But I remember being in a situation like this young lady and her kids. I was a little older. Me and my older brother was a little older, so we fought. And that actually helped us get some stripes in our neighborhood as being, the kids, the young teenagers that was fighting the bigger teenagers. We actually we became popular. We became popular in our neighborhood as, some young men that wouldn't back down. We would stand up for what was right. So this incident, I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen. Okay? Because in this climate, with what they call black fatigue, with what they call something like basically they tired of seeing us online going through whatever we going through. They getting tired. That's what it's supposed to mean, black fatigue. They tired, like we not already, all of us, our generation's been tired of them. They got the nerve to call themselves being tired of us. But regardless, it's good melanated people that like myself that's tired of it, even on a whole nother level, because we know we better than that. So it's not that we tired of it. We just want to see our people doing better than that, right? And it's real upsetting because we know that the majority of us don't raise our kids like that. But I'm going to tell you what, it is a small percentage of parents that raise their kids like that. And it's in the black community and in the white community. It's a small percentage of parents that tell their kids they're bad from the time that these kids can remember. I know this to be a fact in my community because when I was growing up, I was one of them kids that was told I was bad. And I almost started to believe it. I had an incident when I was in the 9th grade where I stole the principal's car and I got caught and I got put on probation. That incident changed my whole life because from that point on, I never did anything else. I did the worst thing imaginable my first semester in high school. By the time I graduated, I had done nothing else. I had nothing but that one write-up in my folder when I graduated. The principal whose car I stole called me to the office and told me, he pulled out my folder, my file, and told me, look, this is the only thing that you had in your folder. I'm glad we didn't expel you from this school. We gave you a second chance because you had a good family. After in the court, we talked and he got familiar with my mother and father and he realized I was I did something bad. I wasn't a bad kid, but I did something bad. So he gave me a shot. And guess what? He was happy he did. He thanked me right before I graduated and told me he wished me well. He think I'm going to be all right. So his name was Mr. Dresky. Shout out to Mr. Dresky. Wherever you at, man, I'm sorry. Forgive me for stealing your car. I was, it was the homecoming night, and he didn't let me in the dance, and it was raining cats and dogs, and I got upset, and he had a clean deuce and a quarter. It was like an 81 deuce and a quarter. It was a classic. Oh man. Either way, I didn't get expelled, and I thank you for that, Mr. Dresky. This is a story that I want to share and inspire others with, right? So, this young lady being whooped on by these kids is at this time in this climate with cameras everywhere. See, and I also seen a little post by one of the parents. I wish I would have got that and clipped it out and added it to it. But from my breakdown, this parent basically backing what her kids did, her child did, right? And this is proof of what I'm talking about with a lot of parents that tell their kids they bad from the time that their kids can remember. And when you do that, your kids want to be bad. Not only do they want to be bad, they want to be the worst. So if it worked that you could tell your kids that they bad, guess what? If you tell them they're good, that works too. That works too. I told my children they were good from the time that they could remember. And if you do that, guess what? They want to be the best. It's proven. I have proved it. Like, not to say I got the best kids, but I believe if you tell your children, whatever you tell them, they're going to want to be that and more. So if you tell them they bad, they're going to want to be the worst. If you tell them they good, they're going to want to be the best. They're going to want to outdo just being good, right? So I'm saying that these parents will be prosecuted. I understand that these are kids and kids gonna be kids, but in this climate, with everything that's going on, especially in Chicago, with ICE raids going on right now, it's a totally different time. Your kids can't just be bad. Your bad kids can't just be bad kids right now and be filmed and it just fly under the radar. Not right now. I hate to say it, but you just can't, proceed and do what you've been doing. If you was raised and told by your parents that you was the worst or you bad, you got to flip that around right now. Right now is the time. Because guess what? The eyes and the force of the government is on Chicago. It's on every black community, though. They just starting in Chicago and in D.C. and chocolate cities. I'm sure they want to come to Detroit, which is an hour away from where I live at. They want to come to everywhere, St. Louis. They want to come to L.A. They already in L.A. They want to go to all the chocolate cities, all the melanated cities. That's what Trump wants to do. So guess what? Let's be on our best behavior for us, not for them. Let's be on our best behavior anyway. Let's start telling these babies that they are the best. They are good babies. Let's start speaking life into them instead of speaking bad and death into them. Because these are the results. It's been messed up in a lot of these communities, but guess what? It's a tipping point right now. Right now it's critical. You got to clean up your house right now. This is a very, 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 very imperative time in our community. And this is something that we should have been doing. We shouldn't need threats of ICE and federal troops coming into our communities before we want to clean it up. But it is what it is. So this is just my tangent on that, man. Look. Clean up your house before somebody else come clean it up for you. Start speaking life. Be proactive so you won't have to be reactive. Start speaking life into your babies instead of speaking death. Speak greatness into them. Tell them they can be, tell them they are whoever they said they are, whoever they said they want to be. You already that. They say they want to be a doctor, you already a doctor. You know, if you can visualize it, let them know the power of manifestation, the power of the tongue, the power of changing everything within their, what they can see, just with their mind and their vision. You know, but the thing about it, I don't think a lot of the parents even know. You know, I don't even think the parents even know the power of this. So I'm speaking to y'all too. Understand the strength you got right within your mind. And start to, you know, make it show in your surroundings. Clean up your home. Clean up your baby's minds. Clean them up. Clean them up physically. You ain't got to have a lot of money to have them clean. And start prioritizing your life. You know, getting things in order. Stop depending on the aid if you own aid. Get out here and strive. Be the best you can be. You know, that's what's going on, I think. A lot of these parents, it seemed to me like they don't even understand how to be parents. How to have a vision. How to, you know, speak life into their babies. Because they haven't never been spoken life. Life has never been spoken into them. And probably not even the grandparents or great-grandparents. So it's generational. So I'm talking to all of y'all. If y'all never heard it before, you heard it now. Not to say it ain't no excuse, but guess what? Start today cleaning up your home, getting your house in order before somebody else, because that's what they want to do to all of us. It don't matter where we at either. It don't matter if we in the hood or outside the hood. They want to come take everything from everybody that look like us. So it's an all concerted effort. And nobody want to speak down on y'all, want to lift y'all up. You know what I mean? And not leave y'all behind. But yeah, man, I'm out chiming out, man. Y'all look, get clean, get your houses in order, bro. Get your houses in order, sis. Let's do it. We can do it.